Great shooter at 36%. He was big in that national championship game at 4 to 7 threes for Coach Todd Golden's team that cut down the nets. Warriors, Grizzlies. Had some fun meetings in the West. Big club over the past few seasons, going head-to-head here in Las Vegas to finish out the night at the Thomas & Mack Center. Cam Spencer, and a great shooter. It's his college time or NBA time. Magny has it ripped away and is out of bounds with 7 on the shot clock.
Magny right there just putting the ball right out there in front of the defender. Got to keep it up high, big fella. They will take that thing from you.
Great pass inside. And Demai Meshack all over that one to put it home.
Meshack getting the layup right there. No more for his for his defense than his offense.
Final pick of the draft last month. Grizzlies break the seal. Jackson Rowe, no. Rebound in traffic, brought in by Meshack. Brought up Meshack's profile at Tennessee. He was such a strong defender.
Yeah, and that's what Meshack was able to do. He's one of those guys that just, he fights through every screen, always in the right place at the right time. You just need guys like Meshack on your team. If you see the nice layup right there to finish inside.
Two teams that expect to be playoff contenders in a Western Conference that is getting crowded with teams with expectations. Wells short, but tipped right back up and in.
And going big picture on both these teams. A couple of years ago, we thought they were definitely contenders for championships. But right now, with as tight as the West is, I'm not sure where Golden State and Memphis fall in that hierarchy of the Western Conference.
Well, we'll get into it. Lane Wilson, Warriors Summer League coach, was named the head coach of the G League Santa Cruz Warriors in June. And with Rowe at the free throw line. Had 12 points in the Vegas opener against Portland. Did not play Sunday against Utah. They're 1-1, the Warriors in Vegas. They're 1-2 in the California Classic. Magny. Screen set, Meshack. Great pass on the dribble drive. Leads to the corner, triple. It goes. And the ball movement paid off by Jalen Wells.
Excellent ball movement by the Grizzlies. Everybody got a touch. The ball moved around. They were able to pay it off with a corner three. That's a textbook offensive possession.
Offensive foul. Turnover for the Grizzlies. Jalen Wells, all-rookie team a season ago.
You see right here, G.G. Jackson passes up a good shot to get a great shot. Wells pays it off for the three-point shot from the corner. Gotta love the execution. Also gotta love the unselfishness of G.G. Jackson. Some guys come in the summer league and they have their own agenda, like, I'm shooting it every time I touch it. You see G.G. Jackson right there just making the right play.
There's another foul on this end. Tomas Zalo, who was named the interim head coach March 28th after Taylor Jenkins was let go. Running the head coach back on May 2nd. One of the rare head coaches that you'll see coaching the Summer League team. Magny inside. Alter from behind. Tooney in his way. And finally a whistle.
Magny working hard inside. Couldn't really pay it off, ended up getting the foul, but doing a lot of big-time work.
Baseline inbounds upcoming. Both of these teams are the two different Summer League squads. Of course, the Grizzlies played in Salt Lake. So for both of these teams, it is game number 6 of the summer. Meshack, hey, if he could show some offensive flashes For a guy who was such a strong defender, look out.
Listen, Meshack, we talked about defense being his calling card. Anything he gives you offensively is a bonus. But if he's going to knock down threes, he's got a shot to stick on a roster.
Rowe cashes a three. Warriors within 5. Cross-court pass.
I tell you what, that was a great find by Wells right there. Invited the trap. They were icing it, which means they were forcing that screen to the baseline. He read it, drew 2 defenders to him, and threw an excellent cross-court pass.
And Spencer pays it off. Was his brother Pat, member of the Warriors a season ago. Rowe on the dribble drive, uses the first step in a lefty finish. Well done.
Excellent play by Rowe.
He's getting up and down. Cam Spencer halfway down. Shackleford bobbles the rebound, but Richard receives. Warriors 3 for 4, start from the floor. Rowe turns down to 3. Low pass to the corner. Shackleford launches anyway. Offensive board underneath. Ripped away, but a foul. Chris Manning.
G.G. Jackson looking real tired out here early on this ball game. He's got hands on knees.
It was just out of bounds, no foul. So the ball will stay on this end. We say a little huffing and puffing early on.
Yeah, G.G. Jackson was, but you like that though. He was giving it his all. He was getting up, getting after it, playing hard, and you know sometimes you just got to catch your second wing. Get out, get you a little bit of Gatorade, sit on down, and then come back in the ball game.
Hardest minutes, sometimes the first few minutes. Wholesale changes on each side.
So hard first few minutes. Nothing is harder than the first few minutes you play when you play in Denver. Ooh, oh man, altitude is so
high.
Yeah, Denver and Utah.
See, that's what I was thinking for Utah when you have the Salt Lake Summer League for guys who haven't played in a long time. That's
yes, indeed.
For Utah, when you have the Salt Lake Summer League.
Saying G.G. Jackson could have bed something, and he said that message stuck. Now we're seeing a more aggressive, efficient Jackson. He's averaging 23.5 points on nearly 60% shooting through 2 games. There's less floaters, more power dunks, a downhill mindset, and that's helped him eliminate wasted movement. He said it's not just the scoring, he's also working to become a more versatile defender and earn a permanent spot in the Grizzlies rotation. And guys, with Desmond Bane gone, the opportunity is more wide open. But you mentioned him huffing and puffing a little bit earlier. He did tell me before the game that he is overcoming a cold, and in practice the other day, he had his hands on his knees, kind of breathing really heavy, and coach got on him, said, hey, it's time. But he goes, no, I love it. I love being pushed. I love the pressure. It's helping me get better.
And I like I said, I love the fact that they said at 6'9", when you get downhill, less floaters, more power finishes. When you're 6'9", that athletic, yeah, there's a time and place for a floater, but in general, when you get downhill, you want to make guys feel you. You want to go down there with bad intentions. A lot of times guys just get out of your way if you look like you want to dunk that thing with aggression.
And Brennan, you brought up his size. Just a big 6'9", a physical player, and I feel like no matter what level he's at, coaches can always see the upside in a player like that.
Yeah, when you talk about G.G. Jackson, 6'9", runs the court well, and we obviously know Desmond Bane. There's a lot of minutes available now. And then you're playing with John Moran. You get out in transition, he's going to find you. So it's a lot of opportunities for G.G. Jackson.
Well, Wells is erased right at the summits. A block shot by Marquise Bolden. Let's go back to Lauren.
And guys, just have to say, the most polite guy that I've ever talked to. I got yes ma'am like 4 or 5 different times. I'm like, am I old enough to be a ma'am? Okay, B-Wood.
I mean,
no, but so polite, so thoughtful with his answers.
He's used to being the youngest. G.G. Jackson, when he entered the league, he was one of the youngest in the NBA.
Hey, man, life comes at you fast, man. You getting called ma'am. I got called Unc the other day, man. Oh, man. I'll tell you the worst one.
What's the worst one?
Young fellow at the gas station was like, hey, old school, how tall are you? Who we calling old school? He for sure can't be talking to me.
Is that worse than old head?
Oh, man, Kyrie called me old head. I seen him in the playoff game. Like, what up, old head? I was like, first of all, you like 35, 36. You got some nerve. and then I kind of took it personal after that.
feel like it happens at the blink of an eye, too, through your NBA career as
You go
well.
from being the young cool guy to being unk and old school.
What was the moment where you realized, okay, I'm closer to being an old guy in the league than a young guy?
I think my moment where I knew I was getting older was my last year in Cleveland, because I used to time up blocks really well in transition, as we see a foul right there. And I was about to time up Kyrie Irving on a fast break, and I was going to catch him. I had the angle, and he Euro-stepped right past me and laid it up on the other side of the rim, and I went straight out of bounds, and I was like, you know what? I might not be doing this for too much longer. I'm getting kind of old.
Like, let me start to figure out how to talk about this sport a little bit.
Yeah, because when you're older, you don't have any breaks.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that goes. You can still kind of move, but it's the starting and stopping. The breaks go. And, man, he put that move on me, and I went straight out of bounds. I was so embarrassed.
I bet you Kyrie has a list.
And, man, he put that move on me, and I went straight out of bounds. I was so embarrassed.
I bet you Kyrie has a list.
Yeah, I wasn't the last person that he was embarrassed. I would tell you that much.
Throughout the season, you do see that sometimes called. That's a flagrant one. I don't want to be the guy to disagree with you this late in the night, though. You get a little grumpy this late.
Nah, I'm not grumpy. I'm not grumpy at all, man. Like I said, I don't want to disagree with you. I don't have all the answers. I got most of them, but not all of them.
I rely on you to give me those answers.
I pride myself on being a man with answers, but I understand that sometimes I don't know what I don't know. In this situation, I'm telling you, I don't know what to call it.
So
I'm going to say it's going to be a regular foul. That's my final answer. That's what I'm going with. What are you going with?
I'm going flagrant one.
Gentlemen,
just to play the other side.
You ever seen Trading Places? Movie Trading Places? I know you're young.
I'm young. I know it's one of those where, okay, I've seen parts of it, but you want to reference something about it.
The joke won't work.
Yeah, it's not going to work on me.
I know.
I need to reference something that goes over your head. Being at least a few years younger than you. The sad part is I'm not actually that much younger than you. Still looking at...
They're taking their time with this one.
Whether the landing area will be elevated to a flagrant one.
Any day now.
Now, this is the part of the game that I know you want to get it right. Fans want it to be done in a fashion that is efficient.
At the review, the play has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty one. For a reckless closeout, the defender closes out and turns into the offensive player in a reckless manner, causing him to have foot-to-foot contact. We'll shoot 3 shots, and they'll retain the ball side out 24
Good thing I didn't bet you.
Such a great description. It could have just said, I agree with Chris Lewis at the table.
I thought about betting you, too, but, you know, saying something at the last minute, said, let's sit this one out.
In Vegas, but I wanted to play it safe here. But there is a flagrant foul. So a couple of free throws, back of the rim. Flagrant on Fleming. Galone won a silver for France in the U18 European 3-on-3 championships. And 3-on-3 basketball at the highest level almost feels like a different sport the way they play it. It's pretty intense. I don't know how much Olympic 3-on-3 you were able to watch.
Can't say I've watched much.
Yeah,
Can't say I've watched.
It feels different, looks different. LJ Cryer. LJ Cryer, the national runner-up for Houston Warriors jersey, floating to the left side and shooting with the right hand shorts. But Cryer, he's a shooter.
Yes, he is.
Jalen Wells shot it well in year number 1 for Memphis. Memphis, sort of a roller coaster season a year ago. They started out as one of the top teams in the loaded Western Conference. But some injuries, adversity down the stretch of this season sort of fluttered to the finish line. able to sneak into the playoffs, but
And for Memphis, life comes at you fast. Remember when Memphis was the it team, the it young team that was going to take over the Western Conference? Even John Morant had that comment, I'm good in the West.
just worried about Boston, right?
Yeah, turned out to be false. Memphis is actually not so good in the West right now. Now, Desmond Bane ends up getting traded. Now we're trying to figure out what this team actually is going to be.
What was your reaction to the Desmond Bane trade?
Man, when I saw that trade, it's like Memphis player got traded for 4 first-round picks. I was like, wow, Orlando got John Morant. Then I saw it was Desmond Bane. I was like, what's going on? Wait a minute. Are we sure? That's the first. That was just my first thought. You asked, are we sure? That's the first. That was just my first thought. You asked.
I mean, it's a fair thought, but then you consider, hey, the contract that he's on, a fair contract, and Orlando will certainly appreciate his shooting ability. It's a type of move that's an aggressive one, but it could be one that elevates the Magic to the next level in the East.
Definitely. And then when you look at where the Eastern Conference is, the Magic probably got to feel like their time is now. As we see the nice, strong tape right there. You know, listen, there's no Halliburton for the Pacers, so the Pacers are probably going to not would be a championship level team. There's no Jason Tatum for the Celtics, so they're probably not. They're definitely not going to be the same team. So Orlando shooting teams in the league last year, and it's not even close. So they obviously needed somebody that could knock down shots and play off of their superstars. You have a young budding superstar in Paolo Banchero. You need guys that can knock down shots and defend. So they felt like, hey, we're going to overpay a little bit to bring this guy in because we think our time is now and we can make a run.
But do you understand why the Grizzlies made that move?
Absolutely not. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what path they're on. Like, I'm not sure if there was something from the picks that they obviously they get 4 first-round picks, but what they're going to be this year in a loaded Western Conference is going to be very interesting. Is this signaling also maybe another move? Could somebody else, maybe John Morant or something, be on the move later on? I don't know, but time will tell.
I guess one of the things the league is trying to figure out is Bernard finishes inside. Okay, what is the next step for Memphis? Is it reload around John Morant and Jaren Jackson III, Zach Edey? And, you know, those guys injured right now at least, and we'll see what their timeline is getting ready for the start of next season. But you have the 4 first-round picks. Are you trying to find the right piece, cost control to go along with them? That's kind of the decisions that you have to make if you're on the Memphis side.
Yeah, like I said, for Memphis, was this a move because of the possible second apron? There's a lot of things that go into it. Obviously, Memphis has a good front office. They know what they want to do. I'm just not sure where that leaves them this year in a loaded Western Conference. I don't think the Grizzlies, a team that ended up being a play-in team, I don't think they're better than the Houston Rockets. Obviously, OKC, Denver made some big-time moves. Not sure if they're better than the Clippers. I like what the Clippers have done this offseason. So let's go Minnesota as well. So I'm not sure where Memphis fits in right now, but only time will tell.
Three-pointer Meshack. By the way, look out. Flashes from a defensive star.
Yeah, Meshack showing that he has put that work in on the offensive end this offseason.
Well, you brought up the West, and this conversation relates no doubt to the Warriors as well, right there in contention with all those teams you mentioned. But outside the playoff picture from last year, you have the Mavericks, who, you know, some guy named Cooper Flagg who was playing here in Vegas earlier this week.
He's pretty good guy. I'll tell you what, man. Things turn around for the Mavs quick, man. Players are going to take them to another level. San Antonio, obviously, is going to be a lot better. And Dallas, like I said, getting Cooper Flagg in. They had a chance to see their GM the other day, Nico, and Nico was all smiles. It wasn't as good early on. I told him when I seen him, I said, hey, man, you kind of like Drake, man. They tried to kill you off, man, but guess what? You back with a #1 hit right now, so you right where you need to be.
Might be the first Nico Harris and Drake comparison.
Hey, listen,
I'm on NBA team.
All I'm saying is, hey, listen, Drake had a real rough summer last year.
He did.
That's my guy. That's my favorite.
He had a real our guy summer. Jamal, we were talking before, and he said he was saying that he's a Kendrick guy, you're a Drake guy, and there was some conflict in the car.
Yeah, man, Drake had a real rough summer. Now he's back with a #1 hit, and it's the same with Nico Harris. Hey, listen, it was real tough for him around the trade deadline, but now he got Cooper Flagg, and he's back. What did I miss?
Tui. Misses off the front of the rim right before the shot clock horn, and that'll do it for the first. The Grizzlies lead the Wolves. Pro Bowl in France, Sweden, Canada, Germany. Went on the Santa Cruz Warriors last year. 8 points, about 4 points per game in about 8 minutes. His Warriors down 9. Bernard to start the second quarter, short on a 3. Shackelford hits the ricochet, corner triple. Cash for Blake hits it. Feel like the Warriors still have a lot of work to do. Only some work to do this offseason. A lot of work to do. Jeremy Jones hits the 3.
When you look at what's going on in the Western Conference is getting bigger. You talk about, even this Memphis team, you have Jaren Jackson Jr., and you have Zach Edey. Dallas, you talk about that front line of Anthony Davis, Lively, Gafford. Obviously, the Spurs with Wemby and some of the moves they've made in the offseason, the bigs, they've brought in multiple 7-footers. Golden State doesn't have size. And if you watch what happened to Golden State in the playoffs, they played against Minnesota, and inside there was nothing there. Julius Randle was running straight to the front of the rim and getting whatever he wanted. And if you don't have size in the Western Conference, it's going to be very, very tough for you.
Well, they made the midseason trade for Jimmy Butler. Took off after that move, but of course Steph Curry got hurt in that Minnesota series. Right. You say so, even though Curry was hurt, even if he was there, they would have a tough time matching up with Minnesota's size.
I just feel that whether it was Minnesota's size, whether it was the next round, if they would have had to play a team like a Denver, or if they would have had to play OKC, no matter who won, like I said, no matter who they would have had to play, the size would have come in. But like I said, I do think that this Warriors team is formidable. They still have some veterans. You have Steph Curry, you got a puncher's chance, right? You still got Draymond Green, you got Jimmy Butler. But they got to find some size, and also they got to find out how do we solve this question with Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, so it's going to bring
because Kuminga is super talented, and he's played in spurts and showed promise. But I don't think Steve Kerr and his coaching staff believes in Kuminga playing with Steph Curry. And because he's a different type of player, if you are not the guy that can play with Steph Curry, then it's going to be hard for you to play for this organization.
And Steve Kerr flat out said it. The match between Curry, Butler, and Kuminga, it was just tough to find a lineup that Kuminga fit with those two.
Oh, pocket pick.
And Meshack, everything but the finish.
But getting back to Kuminga in Golden State, I'm not sure about how he plays with Steph Curry, but I tell you what, in the playoffs, he had multiple games where he came in against Minnesota, and he looked like the only person that could get it going. He's a next-level athlete.
Fit is just the name of the game. And, yeah, you could see the talent oozing. He's a restricted free agent. Block shot, count the hoop on the Bolden goaltend. So they'll have to figure that out, the restricted free agency. You could see the Warriors, what they did a season ago, 23-7, following Jimmy Butler's debut. And you brought up the size. Okay, they first, it seems like, need to get the Kuminga contract situation figured out. And then after that, they perhaps can dip into that taxpayer mid-level exception. And so out there is potential. Al Horford has been discussed as a name that could be a fit for the Warriors.
I mean, Al Horford will be intriguing. He's a veteran, a little bit older, but I would like to see the Warriors go get an athletic big. They need somebody bouncy. They need somebody that's going to guard the paint, that's going to finish in the paint. They need somebody that when Steph Curry comes off a pick and roll, this guy rolls and he can really, really finish strong at the rim. And then at the same time, when somebody goes to the basket and block shots, they need something that looks like that. And then also, like I said, getting back to Kuminga, they have to sit down and say, hey, what are we going to do? Either we're going to pay this man and we're going to figure out how to get the best out of him, or we're going to make the decision to move in another direction and say, you know what, we're trying to win a championship and we don't feel like he fits our timeline and make a trade. But you can't play the middle. You need to come together and say, all right, this is what we're going to do, and move one way or the other.
Well, is there a way that you would lean if you're...
I'm not letting a player that talented out of him. You drafted him with a lottery pick. You helped develop him. You see what the talent is. And quite frankly, you see that the window is really, really small for Golden State being a championship-level team. Kuminga could be an integral piece for what will eventually become a Golden State Warriors rebuild, probably coming soon.
Burton muscles, Rowe defends, late shot clock. This is Fleming. Runner in, Magne tips the rebound out of bounds. Will go the other way.
I think for players like Kuminga, what you have to do is highlight what they do well. If you know that he doesn't do certain things well when Steph Curry's in the game, but then you make some little tweaks in the offense, or maybe you stagger his minutes that he gets in there when Steph Curry's not in there, and you run some different sets. But at the end of the day, the guy's got to play.
So assuming the Warriors can figure it all out, acrobatic Chris Manning. No on the shot, but he'll head to the line. We recently just saw the standings.
Jerry Stackhouse in the building.
Stackhouse.
UNC legend.
About an offensive weapon in his scoring days.
And Stack used to get buckets. Played a couple of years with him in D.C.
Summer League action, it continues tonight on NBA TV, ESPN, and the NBA app. Actually, tomorrow we have the Suns and the Wolves going battle out on NBA TV, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. It's the Kings and the Cavs, followed by the Bucks and the Bulls. And then shutting down the night on ESPN. It is the Mavericks up against the Sixers. And we just saw VJ Edgecombe here on NBA TV in his Vegas debut. 15 points in the second half after he was scoreless in the first, but he was the best player for the Sixers in that closing stretch. And they separated from the Wizards. Pryor hits a step back three, quick transition. And Zion pulling in his foul. Free throws coming up for Pullen. On a two-way contract. Last year back on January 10th. So looking for his first NBA points. He made his debut back on February 3rd. Pull-in release, got it. Coleman Hawkins about to enter for the Warriors, and Jalen Wells the same for the Grizzlies.
We talk about Memphis and Desmond Bain being moved on. Wells is somebody else that can really step up and get some more minutes in that rotation. He was already doing well last year until the wrist injury. Now he really can step in.
The reason for the trade is opening up more minutes for a guy who was a pleasant surprise for the Grizzlies in year number 1.
Yes, he was.
Travel on Coleman Hawkins.
Definitely travel.
Coleman Hawkins was an interesting college story. He was a star at Illinois, kind of a do-it-all type of guy. Not much of a scorer, but a good passer, rebounder. Fills up the box score as a big. Transferred to Kansas State. He was one of those high-profile, big NIL number transfers. Reported like $2 million to go to Kansas State, but it was kind of a rough year for the Wildcats. And Hawkins talked about the pressures of college kids having to deal with the expectations that come from money and really the public knowing about the money.
Yeah, when you're making a certain amount of money, they look at you the same way they look at you when you're a pro. Oh man, if you're making this amount of money, you should be playing, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. If you're making $2 million, people are gonna have some type of expectations, and so it's a little bit different from where college used to be.
He commits the reach and foul there, Coleman Hawkins. The former K-State Wildcats with the Grizzlies up 6 halfway through the second.
Eventually, but I have to ask about the draft. 11th overall pick. What first went through your mind when you heard your name called?
It's kind of like a surreal feeling, like everything slowed down for like the next 10 seconds and then it sped up real quick. But I think it was just like a predicated all the work put in and the work that's still to come. And then, you know, having the people that meant most to me there and then the ones that mean a lot to me back home watching, it really, you know, showed that it is possible. And I got it watching. It really, you know, showed that it is possible, and I got it.
Kind of know what to expect, but if they don't, what can this organization expect out of you, both on the court and off?
Well, well, I'm gonna give it my all. I mean, I'm a winner, and I don't like to lose. I actually hate losing more than winning, you know. But at the same time, like, you know, Memphis here lives by the grit and grind. And I think that's something that's not only survived in through college, but my whole career, basically getting me to where I'm at. And, you know, it's not going to stop.
I know as a rookie, the vets, there's at least one or two that usually take rookies under their wing. Has there been any vets that have reached out to you and kind of helped you along this process so far?
I mean, pretty much all of them, really. The only person I haven't met yet was Santi, because he was getting married in Spain. Actually, congratulations to him and his now wife. But everybody has been really cool. I mean, Jaren, Ja, BC, Jitty, like all these guys, Vince, like everybody I've met has been more than welcoming and more than, you know, able to bring me in, I guess, and taking me under their wing. And really, I'm just looking to learn a lot from them, you know, so I can be successful in my career.
Yeah, you're going to be extremely successful. What have you thought of Summer League so far? I know it's from the sidelines, but watching, has anyone stood out to you?
My team. That's who stood out. Yeah, my whole team. I think everybody, you know, you're not here if you can't play, but to see my guys, like, I practiced with them before they came out here, and to see them now just using what we practiced and using their natural talents to play is great. I mean, I'm enjoying every moment.
And last but not least, I have to ask you, I heard you like customizing shoes. Is that true? Tell me more about this, and what's, I guess, one or two favorite pairs that you've designed and customized?
Yeah, when I was 16, I was watching a whole bunch of YouTube videos and figured out that customizing shoes instead of buying video games was the way I wanted to go. So I just learned and turned into kind of a small business to earn a little bit of side change as I grew up. And I'd say the most favorite pairs I've done, it's probably I finished my college career and gave my coaches at Washington State all custom shoes, and that meant a lot to me, to leave not only a lasting impact on the court and in their minds, but also like something they can show and often wear in games.
And you know, you said it means a lot to you, but it probably meant a lot to them too, I can imagine, right?
Yeah, I think so, but they mean a lot to me. I mean, I love each and every one of them, and they've helped me along this journey, and, you know, thank you guys.
Cedric, we're so excited that you're here. Congratulations, and we can't wait to watch you grow and thrive in this league.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Go Grizz.
And I think, guys over there, we need to get ourselves a pair of customized shoes. What do you think?
I'll definitely take a pair of customized shoes.
I'll take it. Wear them right here on this broadcast.
Oh, yes, lovely.
I know you've commented on my shoe game and said I had a lot of work to do in the past.
No, you solid this year. You solid this year. You got the Air Maxes on. I'm rolling with you.
Need to get the Cedric Coward critique.
Yeah.
Now, can't you see why that guy rose up draft boards through the interview process?
Yeah. Because when he talks, he's engaging, he's positive, he's high energy. We've been talking about culture a lot. He's the type of guy that you bring him in and he automatically is going to change the culture with who he is as a person. So I definitely saw he was able to rise up the draft board.
And it's the guy with the typical wing profile, 6'6", 6'7", 7-foot wingspan.
But it's an incredible story because this was somebody that, when it was first announced that he was going to Duke, I was like, who? Who's that? And when I started asking around, a lot of people were saying, yeah, we've never really heard of him either. And the next thing you know, it goes from he's supposed to go to Duke to he's going to the league, and now he's drafted in the lottery. Gotta love it.
I don't really care. I just try to be myself. But off the court, guys, it's a total switch. He's calm, grounded, driven to make an impact beyond basketball. Cam and his brothers run the Spencer Brothers Foundation, which helps military veterans with job placement, PTSD support, and even mental health research. So he might be a little crazy talkative on the floor, but also making a huge impact with his family off the floor as well, guys.
That's great to hear. Athletic plays on each side of the floor. Jalen Wells, the most recent for the Grizzlies.
Yes, indeed. Great pass by G.G. Jackson. Wells paid it off with a nice dunk.
Off balance, three, bullseye. Jaden Shackelford. There is Spencer. Draws the double, bounce pass to the slicing Jackson. And there's where you see that potential oozing from G.G. Jackson.
That's what we were talking about. When he takes that ball inside, they want him cutting to the basket and finishing that. Layups, dunks, not a lot of floaters. Use your size to your advantage.
That's it. Who was on fire last time out for the Warriors. And their game against the Jazz, where they won it by 10, it was mostly behind the three-point line. That side time inside. Already 12 have entered the game and scored for the Warriors in this first half. With a minute 30 left, and Spencer is fouled in this first half. With a minute 30 left, and Spencer is fouled.
Right here, Spencer finds the cutting G.G. Jackson, absorbs the contact, contorts the body, and still is able to finish inside strong. When you look at G.G. Jackson's big, long, athletic, and agile, just oozing with potential.
I had a game of his year at South Carolina. It was early in that season, and you could just see it then. He was different and figuring out a lot of the the finer points of the game. He's still growing, but this seems like the type of guy you want to bet on if you're an organization.
I'm talking about him going to South Carolina, man. We thought we had him in Carolina. He was supposed to come to the real Carolina. Not South Carolina, the real Carolina. He was supposed to come to Carolina, man. Ended up leaving us going to South Carolina, man. We were heartbroken. We thought G.G. Jackson was going to be a special recruit for us.
South Carolina is putting them in the league. He had Colin Murray Boyles in this most recent draft, selected by the Raptors. His defensive ability.
Yeah.
Young player who was a sophomore.
Yeah, definitely. Looks super excited to be drafted by the Raptors.
I caught that.
What do you mean? No sarcasm. Nah, me? Nah.
Spray to the left. Hinton misses. Jackson digs it out. Grizzlies on the run. Meshack dishes. Jackson wants three. Front of the rim. With under a minute to go in the first half. Armando Bacot, there's a Carolina guy for you. One of the all-time greats at North Carolina.
Yes, he is.
Got a lot of standout players who played for that university, and a lot of games played. He is near the top of the record books in a lot of categories. Shackleford hits the deck. He'll strut to the stripe.
Bacot, stellar career at UNC. He said he played 5 years there, has his name etched in all the record books. So close to being a national championship. Ended up losing that tough national championship game to Kansas.
Just a rebounding machine.
Yeah.
All-time leader in North Carolina. Games played, double-doubles, rebounds. Two-time All-American. Shackleford gets the roll. Bacot last year with the Memphis Hustle. Put up 19 points, 10 rebounds. Looking just like Bacot numbers.
He's going to be able to rebound the ball no matter where he goes. That's one thing that he brings to the table. The skill set and the ability to go out there and go get it off the glass.
Meshack turns it up and floats it home, and he's been extremely impressive.
Yes, indeed. We've been talking about his defense and how he's known as only a defensive player, but offensively, he's looked very sharp in this first half.
The 59th and final pick in the last draft. 5 seconds separate the two clocks. Shackleford with a bounce pass, a whistle first, and a moving screen.
Meshack right here coming off the pick and roll. Big fella doesn't come up. He pulled it for the nice floater.
Jemai Meshack, Tennessee's all-time leader for wins in a 4-year career. 109. 5 to shoot. Wells muscles to the rim. With one, Shackleford won't get the heave off, by the way. The heave tweak. Their new head coach coming. Center, the campus of UNLV. Their new head coach coming. Start of half number 2. G.G. Jackson defending on ball. Against Alex Tui. Contested 3, in and out. Golden State gets the offensive rebound, and Shackleford off the front of the rim. Golden State in the first half, balanced effort. Shackleford led the way with 8 points. At 12 players who entered the game, and all 12 in the first half scored for Golden State.
You gotta love that. Everybody got a chance to touch him and score the rock.
Jackson likes this match. A wrap pass, gorgeous.
Great play by G.G. Jackson. Took his time, had a mismatch, went to the crab dribble. Once he got in the paint, he realized there were 2 defenders on him. He was able to drop it off to the big fella on the weak side.
Old Magne finishes it off. All right, I gotta ask, because I'm sure I'm not the only one who raises an eyebrow. Crab dribble.
Yes.
What exactly is the crab dribble?
You know what the crab dribble.
Well, I want to explain it to the people out there.
When you're in the, you see I'm not going to count the bucket. But the crab drill is when you're in the post and you have your back to the defender. You take 1 bounce, 2, right here, 1 bounce, 2 bounce. That's the crab dribble. And we see G.G. Jackson wrap around and drop it down.
Okay, I can't explain the crab dribble. I'm allergic to shellfish.
Say what?
So I'm allergic to shellfish. I can't use the crab dribble.
So you don't like the crab dribble?
No, I'm not. Okay. It doesn't like me.
Listen, I don't want you out here looking like Will Smith and Hitch. So
that would happen.
Stay away from the crab dribble.
You stay away from the crab dribble. I'm too close.
All right.
Tui hits the first. We talked about Alex Tui at the top of the show. 52nd pick. 2 Vegas games coming in, 11 points per game. Guy who has a connection to Andrew Bogut, former Golden State Warrior, NBA champion, played for the Sydney Kings, which is Andrew Bogut's team, or he was the NBL's Next Generation Award winner, which is sort of the Rookie of the Year award. Jackson draws 3 defenders. Meshack, who was excellent in the first half. Jackson, ball fake, back rim, tip back. Will Magne finishes it off for the Grizz.
G.G. Jackson won't get credit for that bucket right there, but that was all him doing all the extra work, keeping that ball alive.
Jackson that time the hip check. Rowe hits the deck.
G.G. with those, right here you see G.G. gets the offensive rebound, rips it away from Golden State, goes up, looks like he gets fouled. But just that extra energy and effort leads to that offensive rebound right there. And once again, man, G.G's been, they say he got a cold. He's been struggling to breathe out here. Look at hands on the knees in the weak side. He's struggling to catch his breath.
I want to give him credit for taking the court and giving the effort that he's giving.
Man, look, hey, man, he is exhausted.
Yes. Yeah, hands on the knees.
Look how his chest is. He is really tired.
Lauren, what do you see?
Yeah, same thing as you guys have seen too. Nobody did tell me.
Hard-hitting journalism there, Lauren. Yeah.
I'm bringing a lot to this broadcast right now.
I'll vibe that. I set you up for it.
Jordan, what you see?
That was on me.
Lauren, what do you see? Yeah.
That was my bad on that one. I'll take the blame.
He did tell me pregame, though, guys, that the biggest thing for him this season is consistency. He doesn't want to get too high. He doesn't want to get too low. Just find that sweet spot in the middle, and a part of that is getting those reps. Also, this is his 3rd year. He's heading into his 3rd year with the team. And I said, you know, you're kind of a leader now. You're a veteran here at Summer League. He goes, you know, I try to still keep my youthful ways, though, while also still being a leader. He said it's easier having Cam and Jalen by your side. You know, it takes a little bit of pressure off of you, but having the guys look up to you on the court, he said it speaks volumes, and I accept that challenge with open arms.
He's still only 20 years old.
He's still young.
A 20-year-old vet. That's how young the league is getting.
It's crazy. You just look on the Warriors side, for example. That corner 3 goes. Like Will Richard was selected for them, 22 years old. You know, Alex Tui's 21. G.G. Jackson's going into his 3rd year, younger than both.
A nice take right there by Rowe on the baseline.
Jackson Rowe. He's 28 years old. Jackson, front rim.
And those are the shots that he's going to have to knock down. We talked about Desmond Bane leaving. One thing that Desmond Bane did at an elite level was shoot the basketball. If G.G. Jackson's going to be in that rotation, he's going to play with a guy like Ja Morant. When Ja gets down the paint, G.G.'s going to have to knock down those 3-point shots. That's where the work is going to have to be put in the offseason.
And they do still have Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who part of that trade, who plays nominally the same position at shooting guard and slide up to the small forward, and Desmond Bane. Tough to get it in here. They do fling it past half court. Wells has to scoop it up, but Wells will be in contention for more minutes with the Bane trade. Sacramento product. Off the bounce 3. Sacramento had a good draft in terms of players from that city. couple years ago. It was Jalen Wells and Jared McCain, both representing Sacramento. And both had great rookie years. Of course, both cut short. McCain shorter than Wells with an injury.
Listen, like I said, both those guys right there really showed a lot their rookie years. Obviously, they were both cut short by injury, but you could see the promise of both of them. They knew how to play, knew how to fit in with veterans. Look forward to both guys showing what they're really about in their sophomore season.
Shackelford against Wells. That's a tough defender.
That's a tough bucket, too. A little bit of a show and go. Pump fake. On reverse to the other side of the rim.
2-point Golden State lead. Jackson does it himself. No help needed. Only help needed is from the defense. Will Richard flings. Poling comes to reach. Can't time the steal. Instead of three.
Took a little bit of gamble right there. Gamble went down. Poling gamble went down for the steal. Richard was able to knock it down.
Will Richard stands at 6'4", 22 years old. Whistle and moving screen.
That's the thing. When you gamble right here, when you gamble on this steal, you got to get it. Because you're out of position. The defense isn't expecting you to go that far down. And now you give up a wide open three on the strong side, which is what you can't do.
As both teams make a bunch of substitutions, that gambling and being able to recover. No team, I felt, did that as well for a long time as Oklahoma City did last year. Like, that was the foundation of their defense. It felt like they weren't gambling because hey, they could quote unquote gamble for the steal, but they wouldn't give anything up because they're so athletic they could get back into position with the snap of a finger.
They ain't gambling if you keep winning.
Which you know, doesn't happen here in this city very much.
Yeah,
you don't keep winning. That doesn't happen here.
But no, that's what OKC was known for. They were known for active hands, getting out in the passing lane, making it tough on guys.
Bump on the corner three, no whistle. Tyler Burton wanted one. Madsen flings, alley-oop broken up. Trailing from behind, Fleming. Going to get his hand on it.
Great hustle by Fleming.
Tough inside, transition for Burton. This game was tied at halftime. It's just 1 point of separation here in the third.
It's still tight.
Deloney, bounce pass. Marquise Bolden rockets it off the backboard. Gets his own rebound across the paint and finishes with contact.
Big fella. Where to be and how to take advantage of offense and defense.
Two-way player.
Yes.
By the way, this 4-point lead is the largest of the game for Golden State. Warriors made it to the second round of the playoffs this past season before Steph Curry got injured in their series loss to the Timberwolves in 5 games. Baycott in and out on a three. Inside, Poland snatches the rebound. Baycott again, yes sir.
So I missed the three, but get right back into the post and get to that little jump hook. That's where he feels a lot more comfortable. More of a traditional big at the old school back to the basket moves.
So looking forward with the Warriors, you brought up how stacked the West is on paper, at least heading in. In what tier would you have Golden State?
Oh, you see a nice triple right there. I have Golden State probably in the play-in type of tier. You know, because if you put me on the spot, I have OKC ahead of them, obviously. Denver, Houston, I would say Minnesota. Truthfully, I like that. If Kawhi's healthy, I like the Clippers a little bit more than Golden State as well.
There you go. So yeah, you're right into that play-in mix right there with the teams you just rattled off.
And let's not forget, I mean, there's some up-and-coming teams like that. Like, what are the Dallas Mavericks going to look like? And what are the Spurs going to look like? You can see some of those young teams, especially a team like the Spurs, make several jumps depending on Wemby's health and how he looks. And then how they mix in guys like Dylan Harper and getting all those young guys mixing in together.
Knocked out of bounds, will go the other way. Warriors stand up on defense. Yeah, it's just one of those where they were so good last season once they made the Jimmy Butler trade. And you're going to think, all right, now you get a full offseason to work out any of the kinks that you might have had. But on the flip side, there's so many other teams that have the same type of, well, if things go well for us, we should be right there in the top half of the West, too.
The West is tough, man. The West is tough. There's going to be some teams this year that are really good teams that aren't going to make the playoffs. We're going to have a certain expectation for that team, and we're going to get to the end of the year, and we're going to be like, wow, I can't believe they didn't make the playoffs. Like, an example of that would be coming into the year, we all thought the Phoenix Suns were a playoff team. We didn't think they would win it, but we thought they would be a playoff team. They finished 10 games under 500, weren't even a play-in team. So there's going to be some of that for some of these teams in the Western Conference.
Transition, triple, count it. Deloney lights it up in a timeout. Rowe and Shackelford each with 10. Grizzlies trying to stem it. There's Meshack, who has 10 on the night. Uses the spin, in and out on the jumper. Spencer rebounds and banks it in.
Cam Spencer snuck right in there along the baseline, grabbed that rebound, and then took his time with the pump fake inside and was able to pay it off for 2.
Bernard step through move. That's strong with the left.
Yeah, real nice Euro step right there. Really nice.
Finger on it to knock it out of bounds for the Warriors' second-round pick.
See right here, right there, this Euros, Cam Spencer right out of the way. Excellent take by Bernard.
Trying to play with the defender on his back, and Spencer does draw the foul. Coleman Hawkins upset. (68-58) Golden State. This game was tied at 43 at halftime. Spencer off the levering screen. Meshack's had the ball in his hands quite a bit.
Yes, yeah.
Spencer with Bernard on his back. Cross-court dime. Here's Jackson. 2 on the shot clock. One-legged fade.
I don't like it. See, and that's where not being able to knock down the spot-up jumper comes into play for G.G. Jackson. Cam Spencer did a great job of drawing 2 kicks to him, but G.G. doesn't have the confidence to let it fly, so he takes another dribble, dribbles into the defender, and ends up taking a way tougher shot with that one-leg fall-away jumper from the mid-range.
Is this the type of setting, too, where it's like, hey, the stakes are lower for wins and losses in Summer League. Just take the 3 if it's open, just like Cam Spencer, even though he wasn't even open. Hits a contested one. Meshack, 94 feet defensively. That time is guilty of the foul. And that's what he did at Tennessee.
But getting back to your point, as we see right here, Cam Spencer's able to knock it down. But getting back to your point on G.G. Jackson, you are 100% correct, Chris. You're in the Summer League. This is when you don't worry about missing spot-up 3s. You're here to hit those shots. So you want to work on that, take those shots, because you're not going to be taking one-legged fadeaways with John Moran and Jaren Jackson Jr. on the court next year. They're taking those shots. You have to be able to hit the spot-up shots.
Being able to play off of stars versus being able to play with the ball in your hands, it's just a different skill set. And you can work on both at this setting.
And we see a lot of guys coming to this league, and they're used to having the ball in their hands as far as being stars in high school and the AAU setting, even in college. And you get to the league, and that's not your role anymore. And if you don't adjust, you won't be here long.
It's almost a race to who can figure that out the quickest to have that lengthy career. Low pass out of bounds, turnover Grizzlies.
I remember talking to Bobby Portis one time, and he was saying that he was an incredible high school prospect. I think he was SEC Player of the Year. And so he had an incredible, like, he was used to just having the ball and getting a chance to score when he got to the league. He said it took him a little bit of time to figure out, okay, I'm not going to be the guy here. How do I help the guy? How do I help other players that are really good? And he figured it out. He's had a long, illustrious NBA career because of it.
Playing with energy, hitting spot-up 3s. Bobby Portis does it very well. Meshack will strut to the stripe. Jemai Meshack It's all SEC defensive team. Four points, 5 boards, 4 assists in the win over Portland for the Grizzlies. In this game in double figures. Grizzlies have 3 players who have scored 10 or more. Was a 72% free throw shooter his final year with the Volunteers.
I'll tell you what, that Tennessee team that he was on was really tough. I actually had them pick to go to the Final Four, man. But boy, they ran into a really strong Houston ball club.
How many SEC teams did you have in the Final Four of your bracket?
3.
Of course, a couple of them made it in Florida.
Yep.
Joining Auburn, #1 seeds. Did you have North Carolina going that far in your bracket? Final Four? Did you?
Yeah.
Even from the first 4, you had them going all the way to the Final Four?
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of alumni. I have a lot of alumni watching, man. Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Pick one of those. What are you talking about?
They looked good in the first 4 game against San Diego State.
Yeah, well.
They looked really good in that game.
And life came out as fast.
Bernard. Spencer knocked it away. Also strong defense inside by Lovery. Those two combined. Meshack ahead of the pack. And the Grizzlies claw back within 4.
Fighting their way back in. It's going to be an interesting 4th quarter. Grizzlies getting back into it with some defense. Getting scrappy.
You can see Meshack defend right here. Again, Shackelford navigates around the screen. Hawkins from distance. 3 seconds. Spencer from half. A heave. So that will not count as a field goal attempt for Cam Spencer.
Yes. We see Cam Spencer right here. Looking up, and Meshack behind the defense for 2. Golden State by 4.
In transition.
All right, so feels like an NBA Finals game. We need to deliver an NBA Finals style broadcast then the rest of the way. You up for it?
Yeah, we definitely do.
For an NBA Finals style broadcast then the rest of the way. You up for it?
Yeah, we definitely do. Definitely. Because the young fella's excited for his NBA Summer League action.
Yeah, that's where you're talking about the finals. On the other end of the floor, he just had an incredible block. Let's take a look. I mean, Oklahoma City in the finals would be proud of this one.
Yeah, that's an NBA Finals level block right there. I tell you that. Good play by Bolden. Coming over there, crossing the midline, defending the paint. Well, so if you're big in this league, a guy like Bolden, you got to defend the paint. You got to make sure that when you're in the paint, guys see you, they fear you, and they understand that you're going to have a presence at the rim.
I feel like just the quote-unquote lazy perception of NBA basketball is it's just a lot of threes. But still, the foundation of offensive basketball, therefore the foundation of defensive basketball is all about the rim.
Yes. We talk about the amount of threes. We see Meshack right there with the excellent steal. He ends up turning it over. But we talk about the amount of threes being played being taken in today's game. But at the end of the day, it still starts out what's going on in the paint. As we see Richard knock down the 3.
You know, it's not the NBA Finals, but the NCAA championship game. Will Richard was big time.
Yes, he was.
Florida hit 4 threes in the title game. His team upended L.J. Cryer's Houston team. Of course, L.J. Cryer, another member of this Warrior Summer League squad. Tui wants the rim, flings it. He can't be the one to touch it, or he does touch it, and I'm not going to call the travel. Line drive shot, shorts. Offensive for Richard, but wipe it off. They found the floor. But you can tell the Warriors, mentioned a team that is coming out with the mentality of it being like a finals. Their bench erupts.
Yeah, listen, and you love to see it. You love when your bench is giving you energy like that because the guys on the court can definitely feed off of it.
So will be a side out of bounds. Oklahoma City and Indiana both gave you some great crowds throughout their run to the NBA Finals. Two of the best environments that you'll see in sports. Jackson Euros and draws the contact.
That's what G.G. Jackson's special. 6'9", can push the ball the length of the court. And when he starts getting downhill, man, he creates problems at the rim.
He gallops.
Yes, he does.
When he gets into the open floor. So Jackson to the free throw line. G.G. Jackson coming off of a 16-point game. Tonight is 6. Summer League action continues tomorrow on NBA TV, ESPN, ESPN app. NBA TV tomorrow, you have the Suns, Wolves, 5 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2. The doubleheader of Kings, Cavs, Bucks, and Bulls. Now ESPN tomorrow, to round out that night, got the Dallas Mavericks, likely no Cooper Flag, of course, against Philadelphia, and we'll see if VJ Edgecombe will give it another go after making his Vegas debut tonight. 15 points all in the second half.
Yeah, VJ Edgecombe kind of struggled in the first half. It was a struggle, but then kind of settled in a little bit. He got a couple of highlight plays at the rim and settled into his game in the second half.
Cooper Flag, #1 overall. Dylan Harper went second. And then, kind of rewind the clock a few weeks draft time, it was almost like the draft started at 3 with Philadelphia.
And the interesting thing is Cooper Flag struggled his first game.
Yeah, you're right.
I called Dylan Harper's first game. He struggled mightily in that game until later on in the fourth quarter. And then we just talked about VJ Edgecombe, his first game in Summer League, he struggled also. So all first 3 picks kind of struggled in their debuts.
That's something that we've seen in the past. Victor Wembanyama last year, his first game was...
Do you remember the idiots that thought when Victor Wembanyama was playing in the Summer League and he wasn't averaging 30, they're talking like he wasn't going to be good? I was like, man, the overreaction is crazy.
Second game, I think he had like, what, 5 blocks or something like that. And it was, okay, he'll be all right. I think he might have a little career ahead.
Yeah, that guy's got a pretty bright future, huh?
It's like it's the NBA Finals with Meshack. All the way to the rack.
Listen, he said it to him it's the NBA Finals, and he's playing like, look at him, not giving up an inch. Guarding, getting out in transition, scoring the ball as well.
He has 15 points. 6 of 10 from the floor, and he's made 2 of his 3 threes. Bolden, got it.
Bolden right there taking his time. Looked like he was in a little bit of trouble. He was able to turn over that right shoulder, so some nice touch on that shot.
He's 27 years old. Undrafted back in 2019. 18 games of NBA experience with a few different teams. And Bolden and the Warriors will draw it back. Richard races back and gallops to make it home.
Richard snuck behind the defense right there on the Memphis end. Nobody home.
6 minutes and change to go. Richard forces the turnover. He made 2 key defensive plays in the final moments of the championship game against Houston. One of them was against L.J. Cryer.
I think he lets L.J. Cryer know about it every day at Summer League.
Would you?
Definitely. You know how petty I am. Every day.
Yeah.
Every day. I'd be texting him clips, highlights.
Walk around with the ring you got.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Cryer, though.
I'd be wearing, like, Florida colors every day.
I'm not sure he does it. Corner, triple bullseye. That's Chris Manning. A 7-0 run for the Warriors. Strip in traffic. It's won by Rowe. Cut off. No look dime. Richard again. Diming.
They struggle with the shot-making aspect of their game in game 1. But we know all 3 are going to be really, really good players.
Which player do you feel like has the best Rookie of the Year chance? And I ask that because it's just interesting scenarios for all three of those guys. It's not set up for like the bona fide stats because they're all on teams that are trying to compete and win.
This is a very weird year to be in the top of the draft. Normally, if you're picked in the top 3, normally your team is terrible. Yeah. You're tasked with turning the whole franchise around and lifting it up on your shoulders. Well, these guys are all going to teams where there are going to be players that are on that team that we know right now are better than. I don't think Cooper Flagg is going to be phenomenal. He's not better than Anthony Davis today. You know, Kyrie Irving's still on the team, so he's not going to get the same opportunities as the normal #1 pick. You know, we talk about a guy like VJ Edgecombe going to Philly. If Joel Embiid is healthy and Maxi's there, he's not going to get the normal shots that a #3 pick would get in that situation.
He might be the 4th guard.
And the same thing with Dylan Harper. You have De'Aaron Fox, you have Wemby.
So Castle's the rookie of the year.
Exactly. So all 3 of these guys are incredible players. But could they get beat out by somebody else being drafted lower than them for a rookie of the year because that person has more opportunity? Absolutely.
I have a guy who I'm going to throw at you as my pick after Spencer hits this free throw. I don't want you to laugh at me.
Uh-oh. Whenever somebody says that, they're about to come with some tomfoolery.
Trey Johnson.
No, there's nothing funny about that.
Okay.
Trey Johnson can score the ball.
Yeah, he's gonna score.
He can score the ball. He can shoot the ball. I think Trey Johnson can definitely be rookie of the year. Why do you think I would laugh at that? Especially as an ex-Wizard.
I wasn't sure if you thought you might have the opportunity. Maybe there's a lot of people who are trying to prove themselves on that team.
But I think he's very talented, and there's a lot of people on that team, but it's not like he has a Anthony Davis or Joel Embiid on his team. Yeah. You know, he has some guys that might want some shots early on, but, you know, if Trey Johnson shows what he's capable of, I'm sure the coaching staff and the front office will clear the deck for him. If this young man is capable of averaging 20 right away, you got a vet standing in his way, that vet won't be standing there much longer.
Guy who can score it. Great inbound sets. Executed to Delone.
Excellent execution.
Warriors trying to hang on for the win. Pick up their 2nd win in Vegas. Cryer ahead. LJ Cryer.
Gotta love the defense. Especially gotta love the defense. Especially
you gotta play defense.
Got to.
When Kelvin Sampson's your head coach. Have you ever been to a Kelvin Sampson practice?
I have not, but I heard they're very interested. I heard you don't actually even need a basketball.
You do not. Ball fake to the rim. Everything but the hoop.
We got LJ Cryer down back behind the play.
Manning and one. Warriors separating late in the 4th.
Right now, Golden State taking complete control of this game. As we see Manning right here driving down the lane. Takes the contact, takes the bump, and still has the wherewithal to finish. Impressive.
Largest lead, Golden State. Set up by Chris Manning. Spent a year at Vanderbilt. He was a grad student. 4 years at Cornell. He's part of that Vanderbilt team that made their first NCAA tournament since 2017. A loaded SEC. You know it's good when Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Out here going to the NCAA tournament.
Exactly. You know the SEC is definitely loaded when Vanderbilt makes it, because, you know, normally their academic standards are sky high. They can't get the ballers in. They can't keep the ballers eligible over there.
Every game was like a quad 1 in that conference. Wells wants 3. Back Aaron and off. Delone, gets the rebound. Manning, he tries Baycott.
He tried it.
Wasn't successful.
Great job by Baycott, though. Excellent defense.
Tremendous seal. Armando Baycott. That's a big, I'm sure you like to see a center carve out position like that.
For sure. I think more centers should do that. Like, you know, just a lot of times you see guys run into the 3
like that.
For sure. I think more centers should do that. Like, you know, just a lot of times you see guys run into the 3 of the paint, get big, create space, and see if you can get fouled or get a quick layup or dunk inside.
The former North Carolina star at the line. Oh, I saw Coach Williams in Vegas earlier in the week.
Oh, yeah. You know, he's out here supporting these guys. In North Carolina, we're a family, man. You know?
Expect nothing different.
Exactly.
5 years at UNC. #1 all-time in the ACC in rebounding, over 1,700 boards in his 5-year career.
That's a lot of rebounds. A lot of rebounds.
We'll take a pause with
A lot of rebounds.
scored. And when your leading scorer only has 12 and you have 87 as a team, that's balance.
It's balanced, and also the thing is, it speaks to how efficient they are too. Because they're shooting 52% from the floor, so one guy doesn't have to do a lot, as we see a Hail Mary shot right there, but they're getting quality looks, they're knocking those down, shooting 52% from the floor. On the other end, as we see G.G. Jackson knock down the 3. That's the shot that needs to continuously take. On the other end, we talk about Memphis shooting 36% from the floor, 25% from 3.
You mentioned earlier on in this game, you wanted to see Jackson, if he has an open space, just launch it.
Yeah.
And he did just there, and
I don't
cashed
care,
out.
I don't care if G.G. Jackson, if the shot is, if it's an open spot of 3, I don't care if he goes 0 for 10. Because it's all about developing and hitting this shot. This shot right here, as G.G. Jackson gets it back, catching and shooting and hitting that shot, right there from the top of the key, the strong side corner, the weak side corner, that will determine what type of NBA player he'll be. Because if he can hit that shot, everybody in the league will be clamoring to have this kid on their roster.
What do you think of him as a defender? Because he's 6'9" and has the athletic frame.
6'9", has the tools, big, strong, fast, athletic. We know he can. We know that he can chase guys around screens. He gives you versatility because of the size. He can switch ball screens. So you love everything about his game. He just has to knock down the three-point shot. Because when you're a role player that can defend and knock down threes, you are so much more valuable, because now all-star players can play with you because you do the tough stuff that they don't have to do defensively, and offensively you give them space.
Catch and release.
Let it fly,
Gigi.
Let it fly.
You'll like to see it.
If there's 2 minutes left in this ball game, get you 2 more shots up.
A shot per minute would be quite a ratio. Tui goes behind the back. Meshack rotates over. It causes the jump ball.
Can't play with that ball around Meshack. He has excellent hand, excellent defensive instincts. Right here, sees his bigs in trouble, comes right over and attacks the ball.
Some guys just have a feel, right?
It is. There's some guys that just always know where to be defensively. They're crisper on their rotations. They're just a little bit better at fighting around and getting through screens, and Meshack is one of those guys.
Tennessee has had a number of those type of players over the last few years. With 2 on the shot clock, Shackelford is fouled. And free throws coming up with 92 seconds left in the game.
Like I said, a guy like Meshack is somebody that can definitely play for my ball club. Because of the energy, because of the intensity, and the fact that I don't have to teach this guy defense. I don't have to teach him defensive principles. He already knows them. He lives and breathes them every time he steps on the basketball court. Once again, it's kind of what we talked about with G.G. Jackson. Just how many shots is he going to be able to hit when he is wide open? Can he turn into, let's say, for example, like a Lou Dort? Lou Dort couldn't shoot the ball when he came into this league, but he defended. He did a lot of things on the defensive end, and then he eventually was able to hit corner shots. Wow! Gigi throws it down, a little show and go. But the ability to defend and knock down threes at a high clip is super valuable.
You brought up Lou Dort as a comp, or at least somebody to look to improving that part of the game. Timeout.
Everybody getting in on the action. When you look at this ball club, Will Richard has 12. Jackson Rowe has 10. Chris Manning with 11. And Jaden Shackelford has 12 himself. Gotta love how everybody's getting a little piece of the action. But more importantly, I gave you those guys scoring numbers, but it's the efficiency. 5 of 7, 4 of 6, 4 of 7. Nobody's playing greedy. Nobody's inefficient. Everybody's playing smart basketball, and that's why they are a minute and 18 away from winning this summer league ball game.
A bit of a throwback to the old mantra, strength in numbers for Golden State. Everybody who's seen the floor has at least 4 points. And they've gone deep as well. 10-point lead. Pressure defense and a foul. Coleman Hawkins. And free throws upcoming. And the way it works is the bonus, or the penalty, is at 10 fouls in a quarter. But it remains in place. Second foul inside the last 2 minutes triggers the bonus. We had our feature at halftime, the Sounds of Summer League. Front rim from Hawkins, and Liam McNeely was asking the referees about the rules of, all right, what's the bonus? And I was like, wait, 10? Yeah. It's just like shocked. Yeah, man, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, summer league rules are a little bit different, man. Got to read the fine print in summer league.
Good start for McNeely, by the way. A couple of summer league games for the Hornets. Richard, the steal. Jackson rejects.
Like I said, that we know the defensive principles and the defensive instincts are there. That's an incredible block by Jackson.
Under a minute left. Dewey cut off. Warriors will let this one wind down. 5 to shoot. Shackelford bounces to an open row. And that should do it. Good night. In Vegas, the largest lead for the Warriors at 95-81, under 40 seconds. Cam Spencer, of course, his brother Pat was on the Warriors the last couple years. Great lacrosse player. Rowe up top. Hawkins wanted the alley-oop. I don't think Rowe was expecting.
Rowe was thinking, hey, big fella, we need to go ahead and just let this clock run out. Hawkins trying to get one more highlight.
One more assist, at least. Well, Spencer commits his 5th foul. Foul out is 10 as well, not just the trigger of the bonus, but yeah, you get 10 personal fouls to work with in Summer League. We're here to see the players play. Jackson Rowe, 13 points. Now just 1 of 5 from the free throw line.
Oh, wow.
Great chat with Lauren earlier on in this game. Rowe mentioned about being a 28-year-old playing in Summer League. You don't see that too often. Three-pointer off the back of the rim from Wells. And the shot clock unplugged. And Golden State set to get their 2nd win in Vegas Summer League. Hawkins will hold. And Golden State beats Memphis 96-84. And one of the most balanced performances that you'll see. Everybody who saw the court, at least 12, scored 4 points.